nouns, or sostantivi, or you can also call them nomi. And we are on the second third of your grammar pyramid, so that means we are chugging right along. Okay, nouns. What is a noun? A noun, or un sostantivo or un nome, is a person, place, or thing. In Italian, nouns can either be masculine or feminine, and either singular or plural. How do you know if it's masculine or feminine? In general, masculine singular nouns end in an O, and feminine singular nouns end in an A, although there are many exceptions. For example, il libro, the book, is a masculine singular noun, and you can tell because it ends in an O. La casa, the house, is a feminine singular noun, and you can tell because it ends in an A. There are some irregular nouns out there, so this won't always work, but for the majority of nouns, you can follow along with this. Okay, how do you make a singular noun plural? In general, masculine nouns end in an O, and the O ending changes to an I, okay? But feminine nouns, the A ending changes to an E, okay? Or in Italian, it'd be an O changes to an E, and an A changes to an A. Okay, but let's try not to confuse you too much here. Okay, so for example, il libro, the O, we're just going to use English letters here. So the O changes to an I. Il libro becomes I libri. La casa becomes le case. Okay, the A changes to an E in this case. So the houses now is feminine plural noun. Articles and nouns must agree. What do you mean articles and nouns must agree? So articles must agree in gender and number with the nouns they precede. So when you make a noun plural, remember to also change the definite article that comes before it. For example, il libro, the book, becomes I libri, the books. Okay, so il changes to I, and libro, becomes libri. Okay, la casa, the house, becomes le case, the houses. So la changes to le, and casa changes to case. Do you have to change indefinite articles to plural as well? No, because indefinite articles are only used with singular nouns. If you think about it, it's because you can't say a houses or an apples. So you don't have to bother with changing indefinite articles to plural. Therefore, there are only 4 forms of indefinite articles, but 7 forms of definite articles. How to use nouns in a sentence. Okay, so we have our example sentences. So subject plus verb plus article plus noun. I am a boy in English. You buy the books, and she has a friend. Okay, the nouns here being boy, books, and friend. And in Italian, we have il soggetto, verbo, articolo, and sostantivo. Io sono un ragazzo. Okay, I am a boy. Io sono un ragazzo. So ragazzo would be the noun. Tu compri I libri. Okay, so I libri. Libri would be the noun. And then finally, we have lei ha un'amica. Okay, she has a friend, amica being the noun. Okay, pretty simple, right? You'll get the hang of it. First, 40 nouns to learn. So I'm just going to go over each of the nouns, and I'm going to repeat it twice. Okay, so try and repeat it after me after each time. Okay, so I'm going to say the word, repeat it after me. I'm going to say it a second time, repeat again. Okay, here we go. L'albergo. L'albergo. The hotel. L'albero. L'albero. The tree. L'autobus. L'autobus. The bus. Il bambino. Il bambino. The baby. Il bicchiere. Il bicchiere. The glass. La borsa. La borsa. The bag. La bottiglia. La bottiglia. The bottle. Il caffè. Il caffè. The coffee. La camera. La camera. The room. I capelli. I capelli. The hair. Il carne. Il carne. The meat. La casa. La casa. The house. Il cellulare. Il cellulare. The cell phone. La cena. La cena. The dinner. Il cibo. Il cibo. The food. La città. La città. The city. La colazione. La colazione. The breakfast. La donna. La donna. The woman. L'edificio. L'edificio. The building. Il formaggio. Il formaggio. The cheese. La gente. La gente. The people. Il latte. Il latte. The milk. Il letto. Il letto. The bed. Il libro. Il libro. The book. La macchina. La macchina. The car. La mela. La mela. The apple. Il palazzo. Il palazzo. The palace or the building. Il pane. Il pane. The bread. Il panino. Il panino. The sandwich. La piazza. La piazza. The plaza or square. Il pranzo. Il pranzo. The lunch. La ragazza. La ragazza. The girl. Il ragazzo. Il ragazzo. The boy. La strada. La strada. The road. La tavola. La tavola. The table. Il treno. Il treno. The train. L'uomo. L'uomo. The man. La valigia. La valigia. the suitcase. La verdura. La verdura, the vegetable. And il vino. Il vino, the wine. Okay, there you have it. Your first 40 nouns to learn. Okay, we're on to quiz number 5, module 2.4, nouns. There's only 5 questions, so I'll go ahead and read each question aloud and all the possible answers, and I'll pause for a few moments to let you try and figure out what the correct answer is. If you need more time, just go ahead and pause the video. All right, let's get started. Number 1, which of the following are singular nouns with an article? Choose all answers that apply. A. Il ragazzo. B. I ragazzi. C. Un'amica. D. Le amiche. E. Gli amici. F. L'amico. Okay, so the correct answers were A, C, and F. If the article preceding the noun is singular, il, la, le apostrofo, lo, un, una, un apostrofo, or uno, the noun is singular. As a reminder, if the noun ends in an o or a, it's generally singular. Of course, there are exceptions, in which case you can usually tell if it's singular or plural by looking at the article if there is one. Number 2, which of the following are plural nouns with an article? Choose all answers that apply. A. Il ragazzo. B. I ragazzi. C. Un'amica. D. Le amiche. E. Gli amici. Or F. L'amico. Okay, so the answers in this one are B, D, and E. If the article preceding the noun is plural, E, le, li, the noun is plural. As a reminder, if the noun ends in E or A, it's generally plural. Of course, there are exceptions, in which case you can usually tell if it's singular or plural by looking at the article if there is one. Number 3, which of the following is incorrect? Choose only one best answer. A. Il libro. B. La casa. C. Un ragazzi. D. L'amica. Okay, the correct answer, or the incorrect answer in this case, was C. Un ragazzi is incorrect since un can only be used with singular nouns. Ragazzi is a plural noun. You can tell because it ends with an E. Number 4, which of the following is correct? Be careful, this one is difficult. You may want to go back and review the previous lesson on articles if you're unsure. Choose only one best answer. A. I libro. B. Le casa. C. Le ragazzi. D. Un amico. E. Uno ragazzo. F. Gli amiche. Okay, letter D was the correct answer. Un amico is the only correct answer. All of the others are not correctly matched with the article preceding them. And number 5, which of the following is incorrect? Some of these are irregular in the plural, so please refer back to your first 20 nouns list if you're unsure. Choose only one best answer. A. Il bicchiere becomes I bicchieri. B. Il vino becomes le vine. C. La città becomes le città. D. Il caffè becomes I caffè. E. La bottiglia becomes le bottiglie. F. L'uomo becomes gli uomini. Okay, so letter B was the incorrect one. So il vino should be I vini in the plural. Note that città and caffè do not change their endings, only their article changes in the plural. And note that uomo becomes uomini in the plural. Okay, so how did you do? If there are any that you had difficulty with, or maybe you didn't get the first time around, you can rewatch the video, or you can just go ahead and reread the explanations here. And I will just quickly scroll through them. So you can pause the video if you want to reread it. All right, great job.